Okay, that's fine. I don't know if anybody's here yet watching live, but um, I'm just gonna go with it. Go with it because this has to get done. Today is my weekly arm slimming, and I've been doing this the last 3 weeks. This is the third week, but I've been doing like before and afters on my arms because I want to reduce the amount of fat tissue I have under the arm and then kind of on top of the arm. But everybody's body's different. Mine, I have excess fat tissue here and then under here, like most people, because this is where we store a lot of our fat, is behind the arm in the tricep area. So, hi, my name is Brandy. I am a certified body sculptor. I've been doing body sculpting on myself and clients for the last 4 years now. And so I wanted to get on and share with you guys a little bit of my arm sculpting routine. So you guys are familiar, possibly can do this to yourselves at home, or at least familiar with what happens during a body sculpting service. And also to bring awareness to what body sculpting is, because I do get asked that a lot, like what is body sculpting? So also when you do these arm slimming treatments, you could always target, go all the way down to your armpit area and target some of this in between bra, outer or inner upper bra fat. So that's why I'm cleaning myself and taking off my my deodorant. So I'm doing that right now. And I'm using these are isopropyl, 70% isopropyl alcohol skin wipes that I got like at Walmart. You can get them anywhere. They think they sell them at Walgreens, at CVS, or wherever your local drugstore shop is. So, yes. Okay, so we're going to begin. I'm actually going to start by doing the fat cavitation, and then I'm going to switch over to radio frequency skin tightening. And now that I've prepped my arm and I've cleaned it, I'm actually going to apply the ultrasound gel. So if you've never had ultrasound fat cavitation, you can, hi, you guys, I'm doing like, I'm showing my weekly, what I do for my arm slimming treatments. So if you have any questions, this is body sculpting. It's non-invasive. So that means nothing goes through the skin, meaning like nothing gets punctured. You don't cut anything. Everything happens like topically. So I'm going to start out by doing ultrasound fat cavitation to myself. And so what I use and what you need is a water-based gel. And so this water-based gel allows for the ultrasound sound waves to penetrate your skin. Oh, if you're new here too, I said an intro in the beginning. I am thank you. I'm a certified body sculptor. I've been doing this for 4 years, and this is what I'm doing. I do these treatments on myself and also do them on clients too. So I'm going to start by applying this ultrasound gel to my skin. But what the ultrasound gel does is it allows for the sound waves to penetrate my skin and enter my body, where it can create these little micro bubbles in the space around the fat cells. And so when those micro bubbles pop, it weakens the membranes of the fat cells around them, potentially disrupting the actual structure and then like shrinking them as well. So if the force is strong enough, you can probably destroy the fat. But anywho, so I'm just going to apply it all over the area I'm going to cover. And right now it's going to be all over my arm, including the outside. So if this is you doing this to yourself or getting this done, they're going to apply it over the area that's like your pain point. Body sculpting is like using a combination of techniques, like methods to like reduce the fat in an area. And it's not like full on weight loss solution, but it's just targeted. And so We can work anywhere from the head to your feet, or your calves. So it's just reducing fat and or shaping the body over time, and promoting skin tightening, because we do use radio frequency for that part. So, and the sessions are about anywhere from like on average 30 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on the area. The arms are pretty quick, as you'll see right now. I'm only gonna do like 10 minutes of the cavitation on my arm, and then I'm gonna follow it up with radio frequency, because I want to tighten my skin. I want to tighten this looseness. But I don't know if you guys know this, but after the age of 30, I'm just gonna change my gloves because. Or not. You have to have a towel nearby. If you have a towel nearby, it helps like dry things. But so after the age of 30, we lose about 1% of collagen. So it's really good to just put this, to have these treatments done, or do this to yourself, or learn how to do this to yourself, so that you can help keep your skin tighter as you age. Okay, so my machine is from my Chi, and so it's a 6-in-1. It has up to 6 different modalities, and right now I'm just gonna adjust the setting for the fat cavitation. But it has 2 modes. It has a continuous mode, and then it has a kind of an intermittent mode, and that's called the professional mode. And the frequency is only emitted when you touch the probe to the skin. But right now I want it on all the time. There's not any really adverse side effects, as long as you're using it within the recommended like settings and on the recommended body parts. I haven't had any clients come to me. I've been doing this for 4 years. I know other people that have been doing it for 4 years have had any issues related to like these treatments. And safety is a big thing. So I always check with my clients what their medical history is, just to make sure that they're good candidates, because not everybody's a good candidate for this treatment. I can go over that, what makes you a good candidate in a little bit, but let me just adjust the settings right now. So I'm gonna put this all the way max out with the power, and I'm just gonna put it for 5 minutes and hit start. The crazy thing is, every time I get a new client, I have to explain to them like what to expect before I start this. But because these are low frequency sound waves penetrating your skin, you were gonna hear sound, and it's like a high pitch ringing in your ears, because it's like 40,000 sound waves per second being delivered under your skin at once, and so it like resonates throughout your body, and it manifests it in like this ringing in your ear. And it's wild, because everybody's always like amazed, because they don't hear it unless I apply it to their skin with ultrasound gel. It won't work, it won't penetrate if you don't have enough ultrasound gel. So that's why you do have to have ultrasound gel in here. Anyway, there's a technique to doing this. So notice that I'm like kind of going slow and applying pressure. I want to like allow the cavitation to sit in the areas that I really want to target for a moment before moving on to another section. It's just because I want to give it enough time on tissue, like time for the energy to work, for those bubbles to form under the skin. And it's crazy because it's not like bubbles that I can feel. But again, our body's made up of what, like 70% of water, something like that. So these sound waves really do travel well. And that's why we can hear it once it's applied to our skin. So if you are doing this to yourself, I always recommend that you just move your arms in a way that's super comfortable. And that's going to allow you to do these treatments during the allotted time. I'm going kind of underneath my arm and the front side, because I do see, for me, I see like the dimpling on the outer part. So this is why I do this here. But with other clients and maybe yourself, you want to focus more on this bra fat area under the armpit and then up through here. Now I'm starting to like not hear. I'm starting to like not hear what is this? I'm starting to not hear the sound waves, so I'm going to apply more gel. So I have my gel nearby. For that reason, you could pause your machine during this time too, or just add more time because it'll allow you to add time on the fly. But that's great. Do you guys have any more questions? And we'll talk about like who's a good candidate, but for these treatments and who's not a good candidate. The general rule of thumb is you have to be generally healthy, cannot have cancer in the last year, no active form of cancer, cannot be pregnant or breastfeeding. Let's see. People who are diabetic, you can get these treatments done. You have to just make sure that in your current state, your diabetes is under control. And that also, what else applies to it? And you could always get like the okay from your doctor. Anybody with severe cardiovascular issues, probably not a good candidate because we do rely on your lymphatic system. We do rely on your lymphatic system to drain this out. There are studies that show that it is proven, clinically proven. RF in general is clinically proven to tighten skin. But there's so many machines out on the market and available. You just have to know like the protocol and the technique. But that's why there's like a big push for anything with radio frequency because of that. And of course we're all different, so our bodies respond a little differently. So we're not gonna all get the same results. Some people might respond way better than others. It could be also their environment as well as their genetics, but nothing's like 100% guaranteed in life. So that's my rule that I follow. But if the majority says it does make a significant difference in the tightness under the skin, then it's doing its job, at least with that portion. Okay, so I just stopped doing the fat cavitation because the time went out and I just set it for 5 minutes. That's all I've been doing is just 5 minutes and then switching it up and doing radio frequency for 5 minutes. So I'm just gonna clean my skin, wipe off this gel, and I'm gonna apply some glycerin to my skin for the radio frequency. So I'll do a thorough wipe down later on. Okay, I prefer, now you can continue to use ultrasound gel for the radio frequency portion. This is for the skin tightening on your arms, but I favor like vegetable glycerin just because I feel like it maintains the heat better. And so yeah. So this is the one that I use. You can buy this like on Amazon or Google it and search for it. But that's where I got mine. And the viscosity. This is kind of thick. So it is, I would say it's like an oil, but it's thicker. It's really thick. But you only have to apply it once and it's good to go. And this is non-comedogenic, so like it won't clog your pores. And then when we're done, I really do wipe it off with a paper towel, and then I use the like alcohol skin wipes to get the rest off. And if you really want to shower and get it off, then you could just wash it with soap and water. But again, I'm coating everywhere that I could potentially pass the wand over my arms. Okay, so the machine that I use has 3 prongs dedicated towards radio frequency skin tightening. There's a 6th prong. That one's usually for bigger areas, bigger surface areas. And then it actually has more fat blasting capabilities. And then the other 2, one's a 4 prong that's just strictly like for skin tightening. And then the 3 prong, which is the same, strictly for skin tightening, and it's used on the face or smaller areas. You use it under the chin and on the face. I just recommend that you do some training before you do it on your face, or have somebody, or go to somebody who's been certified and knows what they're doing. Because if you lose facial fat, you can never get it back. And then the only thing that works to restore facial fat is either fillers or getting fat transfers to your face. And that's why I don't recommend getting fat cavitation done on your face. It's just because we don't have a whole lot of tissue, or the thickness is not as great as is on our body. And yeah, I've heard you can do fat cavitation on under the chin for chin slimming. But again, you don't want so much fat loss on, don't go up a certain, like up here, because it will probably destroy the fat in your face. And if you want to be just extra safe, just do RF. Don't do the fat cavitation. That's on you. So anywho, but my recommendation is, if you're going to get machines to do this on yourself, learn how to do it. Okay, so I'm going to use a 6 prong because I still want to lose some fat in this area, reduce the fat tissue in this area, and I want to tighten my skin. So that's why I'm going to switch over to the 6 prong and not grab the 4 prong, although the 4 prong is good for just basic skin tightening. But I'm sorry, my back is towards you, but I'm adjusting the machine. And I'm putting it all the way, you can do medium to high energy. I'm going to put it on high energy for about 5 minutes. The cool thing with this probe is that it has red light built into it. So you're also getting that red light penetration. So the red light helps also, in order for like the true red light, the benefits of the red light to, for you to get the full benefits of red light therapy, you need to leave it on your skin for at least 20 minutes. So this isn't long enough to get like the benefit of the red light fully. But red light helps to enhance blood flow to the area. And by doing so, you get more oxygen, more nutrients passed. It also stimulates collagen and elastin production as well. And then I'm doing this to tighten my skin. So no adverse effects is clinically proven. I am over 40. So that's why I'm like, oh yeah, I've noticed a change in my skin, at least in my face, my skin tightness, and then in my stomach. After having like 3 kids and going back and forth, and your skin stretches and goes back down. I wish I would have had these devices and knew about body sculpting like before I got pregnant, or else I legit probably would have bought taken a course, bought a machine, and then after I gave birth, do this to myself. Obviously you can't do it when you're pregnant, but use this in conjunction with like a good diet, just good nutrition and a healthy active lifestyle. So you notice with this handle, I'm going fast, because if you don't go fast, you could potentially overheat the skin, and that is very uncomfortable for you. And if you're doing it to yourself, you will feel it and you'll know, like, okay, I'm going to move it because it's getting warm. So the overall goal is to heat the tissue for between 40 to 42 degrees Celsius to start stimulating, to activate the collagen production process under your skin. But of course, that's going to it could take up to 90 days after one treatment for the full effects for your skin to tighten. But you'll start seeing it over time. And it's going to be a gentle tightening. It's not going to be this like, whoa, like you got a facelift or like surgery. It doesn't happen like that. we have to rely on our body to like heal itself and rebuild. So all this is doing is just creating like an opportunity for our skin to tighten by itself by gently heating it. And I say gentle because it is supposed to be a gentle heating, but everybody loves RF. Everybody loves it. Like all my clients that I get it done, they're like, oh, my favorite part, because it does feel good. It's nice and warm. So RF, depending on like how much loose skin you have, you can go anywhere from 5 to like 15 minutes per area. I wouldn't recommend going more than like 15 because I don't think your body needs it, first of all. Secondly, you don't want to overdo it. Oh, thank you. Yesterday I went to a rave last night, and yeah, I do like EDM. And so a lot of me and my friend were in our 40s, and then I'm like, oh girl, we're gonna be the only people here that are our age. No, but I saw a few people like that looked our age and older, but we ended up sitting next to these young gentlemen, and we were resting, talking to them, and we happened to tell them like, yo, you know, our age, and they're like, no way, you guys do not look like in your 40s. I'm like, oh, thank you. It makes me feel better. I was like, my friend's son is 21, so. But I think because we've started like not aggressively, but like proactively taking care of our skin in our 30s. I started in my 20s, that I feel like it's paid itself back to me. Because yeah, and then I go to the gym a lot. And a lot, I mean like every day, try to go. I do try to go 4 times a week, okay? That is like my overall goal, is to go to the gym 4 times a week. And right now, I'm changing my schedule because I do work at the hospital at the beginning part of the week. And then I have this business that I do on the side. So I also am wanting to do a competition. So I want to be more consistent in the gym with like training. And so I have goals, obviously, clearly. I don't know if they're goals or because I have ADHD. I'm done, by the way. I just did this arm. So if you can see, it's nice and pink. I don't know if you guys can see that, but look at that. Well, like that's not done, and this is done. If you go to my like channel, you'll see some of my before and afters. But like your skin is going to be a little pink where the radio frequency was applied, and that's normal because we're heating the skin, so we're enhancing the blood flow in that area, and it just feels really good, you guys. So good. That redness will go away, but I will say this: your skin might be a little more sensitive to the light. So if you get these treatments done, just make sure that you cover your arms if you're going outside, and don't tan for the next like 48 hours because you could burn faster. Oh yeah, I love doing that. Here's a live example of body sculpting being successful. Oh yeah, for sure. But I almost want to say too, like, there's things I learned along the way as being a business owner, that I learned that like what to do, what not to do, what helps me versus what doesn't help me. And I'm all about like trial and error. Hopefully that error is not going to be super costly. Sometimes it is. But if you failed, you just found, there was that Thomas Edison. Was it Thomas Edison? You didn't fail. You just found 1,000 ways that for something not to work. So I'm always like, get up and try again. If it didn't work, go somewhere else. But sometimes if it really is not working, then you have to learn or discern when to cut the cord. But no, I feel like if you're passionate about something, it's going to come to you easier. You're going to work a little harder because you're just passionate about it. Like you're not going to give it a second thought like, oh gosh, I have to get up and do this. But if you choose something to do based off of what inspires you, then yeah, you're gonna do it just naturally because you're excited. I mean, you might not be excited every day if you're tired and doing multiple things, but you still have a drive. And it goes in cycles with me. I'm like, oh, focusing more on like home and the kids and like, and then I'll focus on the business and I'll go back and have to focus on my schedule at the hospital. So I have to have a balance, and it naturally just happens. If I feel like something is overwhelmingly taking over a lot of my time, like I will step back and like do something to help my mind at ease, whatever it is, like working out or just not doing it for a while, just so I can decompress and then go back to thinking about like what the issue is and how to tackle it with a more clear, calm mind. So that's me in a nutshell. Like that's my motto with a lot of things in life. Especially because we can only control like ourselves. We can't control how other people react. I am in healthcare. Yes, I'm a medical lab scientist. Yeah, I'm a medical lab scientist. So I've been doing that for 16 years, 17 years. Couldn't be 17. I think it just passed 17 years. But yeah, so I got my certification like over 10 years ago. But I was started out after I got my bachelor's degree. I got my bachelor's degree in the area that I actually do work in, which is in microbiology. And I wasn't sure whether I wanted to go to grad school, med school, whatever. Like I had nothing calling me or like pushing me or motivating me to go those routes. So I said, I'm going to go back home. I'm just going to get a job and then figure it out from there. Well, it's just like serendipitous because a position opened up right at that time that I graduated in the hospital in my local hometown and in the department that I got my degree in. So it was like freaking divine timing. So I'm like, okay, perfect. I can move back and then pay off some. I didn't have very many student loans because I ended up getting a full ride scholarship. But I had to stay an extra semester because I decided to change my major. And it just cost me to stay an extra semester. So I decided to pay off some credit card debt and some student loans, whatever I had. And I stayed in it because I actually enjoyed it. It was a clinical lab setting. As somebody that has a bachelor's in science, you do a lot of laboratory. You have a lot of laboratory classes or practicals. I don't know what you want to call them. And so right now I'm doing arm slimming. If you guys didn't see me do it the first time, I'm doing it on this arm now because I'm switching. But I'm rubbing the ultrasound gel on this side. And I did put my settings up to a level 9. Yeah, which is the highest that I can go. And so I'm going to wipe off some of this gel before I start. So I don't want to get it all over the handle. But anywho, there's always a need for medical workers, healthcare workers, especially medical laboratory sciences. And I think that's one of the fields that is not very well advertised as a healthcare worker because I didn't even know about it until my brother worked in the lab, but in a different department. He told me about it. I'm like, oh, let me see, because a clinical lab is different from a research lab. A clinical lab, you're serving people. It's a service you're providing to the patients, and of course to the physicians and the nursing staff. We just celebrated Laboratory Professionals Week this past week. So I was posting some things on my TikTok and my Instagram. I think I've talked a few times about it, about what I do, but yeah, so that was my story. That's how I got into that. Got into clinical laboratory sciences. It's just a roundabout way, not a traditional way, because I didn't even know about it. Had I known about it, like, while I was before, like, my degree, I got my degree, I probably would have just did a clinical laboratory science degree and then went that route. But I had to do another route, which was a little longer, more time consuming on my part, and I didn't get paid for being like an externship. And I had to come in on my own time. It took me about 2 years, and me going into rotating through the different departments to get enough clinical hours to sit and take the general the exam. Oh, sure. Yeah. That's why they say if the lab goes down, the hospital, the whole hospital goes down. Because you don't know how to, you can't treat unless you have your tested lab results. You're kind of at a standstill. You're like, we're stuck until we get these results. Like, which way do we go? Like, they have an idea of what's happening physiologically in the body. And so that's why they order these tests and stuff. But they're like, we got to wait for these labs in order that dictates how they're going to treat you. Good thing that, at least where we are, they have like backup generators, and we have service representatives that we can access a lot, 24 hours around the clock. But obviously, if an analyzer goes down, it goes completely down. You need to have like good service to come the next day, hopefully, or within the 24 hours, bring parts. And because I'm in a smaller city, they have to travel from, let's say, like Phoenix. They'll drive in from Phoenix or San Diego or somewhere in California with parts on hand, these service providers, and they fix the instruments. We just recently got this huge line in chemistry. I don't work in chemistry, but I like talk to everybody. And they were telling me that this is the first time that the company's hired somebody to stay in town to service the lines, because it's like very critical to our community health. And the hospital I work in is like the biggest one here in the city. And if that goes down, we're SOL. We don't have a backup. We usually are people's backups. I mean, backup would be Mayo, but that takes days. I don't think we're contracted through like Sonora Quest for our send out. So anywho, I got into body sculpting because I wanted to do something different from healthcare, work on like the more health and wellness side, if you will, an aesthetic side of with our bodies of wellness. So I'm like, let me do that. Plus, I don't have to go back to school and be an esthetician because I'm not doing anything with the face. But I mean, I still had to take courses on and get certified to do these treatments. These machines aren't medical grade machines. Maybe that one is over there, but not these. So I don't have to have a medical director. It's wild to me that that body sculpting doesn't have an actual like regulating body like hair and the skincare does. You have to have so many hours hands-on to be an esthetician. You have to pass the state boards. It's wild that body sculpting isn't like that. Even with massage therapy, like you have to go through so many hours and pass like a certification exam. For what I do professionally, I do too. But that's why I'm like, I kept asking. I even emailed the ultrasound board. I emailed, like, I forget what they're officially called. I reached out to a few laser clinics in Arizona because that's where I'm from. And I was like, hey, what are the rules against, or like to be able to practice and use like art radio frequency? Like, well, it's not enforced, but you should know the safety parameters, how to safely treat people, and like what you can and cannot do. A lot of just the basic knowledge of what radio frequency energy is, and ways to be mindful that you treat people safely. It is also fat reducing. The 6 prong handle is good for fat reduction. Um, I have a 4 prong and a 3 prong, but mostly for skin tightening. I feel like it doesn't heat the tissue um, deep enough to get to the subcutaneous fat layer, but this one definitely has a lot more prongs or probes and power to get there. So that's why this is good for fat blasting capability along with skin tightening. And it has red light. I do have another machine that I use that I did yesterday on myself. I did cold therapy on my stomach, and that's for both fat reduction. Circumferential reduction is what we call it according to the company. And skin tightening is really good for skin tightening. So, anywho, I just did like a quick rundown of my protocol that I use on my arms. So I just used these 2 devices. It was 5 minutes each. I could go longer. I could go 5 or 10 minutes, but really I'm okay with a 5 and 5. I could go 10 and possibly 10. But actually I just finished this one. I'm gonna do this one next. Because that one is for the skin tightening. But I have to wipe down the ultrasound gel because I'm not going to use ultrasound gel when I do the RF treatments. I'm going to use something else. And that is pretty good. I know some other body sculptors use just ultrasound gel and they'll say, yeah, you just need ultrasound gel. Which is fine too because you're heating the skin. But I just feel like this one gets the glycerin helps to maintain that heat over the surface of the skin, so you're getting more like time on tissue. So I feel like this more effective to do it with the glycerin. But again, every body sculptor's technique is a little different, and this is what I like, and this is what works for me and my clients. And I've taken other people's body sculpting courses because I feel like it's the only way you're gonna do your continuing education. And I feel like as a body sculptor, and it's not required because again there's no regulating body behind it, you should do some sort of continuing education because I have to do that anyways every so many years, in healthcare you have to do it every year actually. But anyways, so that's me holding myself accountable to the work that I do. Okay, so I'm gonna apply this glycerin. This is like I was just showing earlier, it's kind of like it looks like it's oil. It looks like an oil, but it's not. It's thicker. It's glycerin. I'm just reading the back of it. What it says, it's an outstanding moisturizer and skin cleanser that also provides softening and lubricating benefits. It's easily soluble in water, making it suitable for use in all of your favorite skincare applications. And I know that it's used to treat rough or dry skin. But that's, I don't know if you can see. You're going to see it on my arm. Because if I try to show you, it's going to slip down my glove and drip on the bed right here in front of me. But it's very shiny. Can you hear that? So I'm just going to apply it all over the area of where I think I might do some RF. You want to make sure that you use a good conductive agent because especially with radio frequency, because this actually helps protect your skin. You don't want to do this on dry skin. It's uncomfortable and it hurts. As far as tattoos, I try not to linger in the area with tattoos because technically your skin becomes a lot more sensitive in that. I've seen like medical grade equipment or heard stories of medical grade equipment like burning where the tattoo was on a patient. So I try not to like linger in the tattoo area. I'll go around it. So just be mindful of having tattoos. Not trying to say you can't do it. Oh, a good alternative would be cold therapy for tattoos, okay? I just think like your skin is super sensitive possibly with the ink and then it heating it. Maybe that's why it created like a little burn like a few millimeters below the surface. And it was nothing exterior, but what happened is it came up from the bottom up. And I believe that client, she wasn't my client, but she shared that in our like some body sculpting community thing. And I was just like, holy cow, that's crazy. You don't think about like how it's going to affect skin that has tattoos on it like that. But it was a good example. And she wasn't sharing it to complain. She was just sharing it to bring awareness. But I mean, she had a right to complain. But who knew? Who knew? Okay, so I'm setting my RF to, I go max level 9 and then 5 minutes. And then this is my favorite part. I have to hit play. I have to hit start or else it's not going to work. You can see the red light. There's a difference in technique when you're moving the handles for the RF versus the fat cavitation. The fat cavitation, you want to go a little bit more slow and concentrate on the bulkier, meatier part of your body or whatever body part that you're focusing on to reduce fat, because you want to give it time to create those micro bubbles I was talking about earlier that will pop and potentially break down the fat cells in the area nearby. With this RF, you can, and especially with the glycerin on the skin, it can overheat the area. So if you're doing it to yourself, it's better because you can feel. But if you're doing it to a client, just be very mindful of like the increased circulation, the color change, and then not lingering in an area too long, because you can burn somebody. Overheat it and it creates like a little burn. It not like a burn where you're gonna get burned like directly on an open flame, but it's more like a heat. It hurts like you touched something hot, like an iron, like. So you got to go faster. But this feels really good. For the arms, I will say like we need to focus more on the under part, the underneath area where the AKA bat wings are. So that's where you want to. And then right here under your armpit, you could do a smiley face, but that's where you want to hang out with these treatments for the arms. It's going to be different for like the skin. You'll see on the stomach, like where the loose skin is, usually it's centered or lower part of the abdomen. So you'll be hanging out in that area, doing circles. If you can do circles, do circles. If you can your movement should be towards your lymph nodes. Like we have in this area, the closest area for lymph nodes is going to be our armpits, but it's kind of different when you're doing it to yourself. So if you guys have any questions about what I'm doing or what I do, you guys can feel free to like ask them below. And then I'll respond as I see them. I usually go live on TikTok. So I get so many like comments, and it's the first time I've gone live on YouTube. I'm from Arizona, Yuma, Arizona. Like sandwiched between. Where are you from? I'm sandwiched between San Diego and Phoenix. So we're 2.5 hours from San Diego and 2.5 hours from Phoenix. About 4.5 hours from LA and 4.5 hours from Las Vegas. So we're like in a good location. 15 minutes from the border of Mexico. I'm getting tired with this. What is this, my left hand? I'm not that. I'm not that like nifty with my left hand. Like I feel like my arm's getting a workout. Great, fantastic. I also do wood therapy, and when I do that like really puts my body through it. Oh, from New Zealand. New Zealand's pretty, isn't it? Isn't it nice and green? What's the weather like there? Is it winter? Or it's going to be winter, or it's going to be summer? It's kind of weird here because, is it fall? Because it's spring here. Isn't it the opposite? You guys are fall. New Zealand. I want to go to it would be nice to go to Australia, New Zealand. My friend, the one I was telling you, I don't know if you were here for that story. I was telling you about when I went to the rave last night. She's actually going to book a trip for her and her sons because they're both graduating. One's graduating college and the other one high school, and she wants to take them to at least Australia. Ooh, nice without the bugs and spiders. Oh my gosh, are the spiders really like crazy over there, like as they say they are? That's wild. Oh, I've seen some things and I'm like, is that real? Like the size of those spiders? And also, I know they actually do have real Tasmanian devils over there, but it's different. Different from the ones that they put in the cartoon. Okay, so I'm done with the RF. I don't know if you can see, it's a little pink. So I am going to just wipe myself down first with the paper towel to get off that glycerin, and then again with the alcohol skin wipe. And then I'm done. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, these spiders. We have these well, in my backyard I have tarantula. Because I'm in the desert. And so I have wild tarantulas. I had scorpions, big scorpions in my yard, but I now spray. I have pest control come. It's like they're very popular. Very popular here. I bet pest control in Australia is booming. But we have rattlesnakes over here too. There was a sidewinder across the street, and yeah, I've seen since I've moved out to the house that I live in, and it's more in the desert. It's I've seen. We even had scorpion in my house, and my daughter killed it, and she didn't even scream or tell me. She's like, "Mom," after the fact, I'm like, "Girl, you need to tell me because you're gonna got hurt." She's like, "I just grabbed this and I smashed it." I'm like, okay. So yeah, scorpions can climb up walls. I think that's how they end up in the house, and they probably can crawl through the ducts and then drop in your house. Those are scorpions. And then, so the spiders, I've had a tarantula. I've seen tarantula wasps, which are big wasps, blue wasps with yellow, bright orange wings. Never knew that existed until I researched it. And then I was like, oh no, if those wasps are here, that means there's a tarantula burrow. Why is it over around my house? And then within that month, a freaking tarantula was in my backyard. Thankfully the dog didn't get bit. And then that same day that we caught the big scorpion, the only reason we went around the side to get the bucket for the that we put the scorpion in was because there was a snake in my yard. It was it looked like a coral snake. It was pretty colors and everything. So we got a snake and a scorpion and an ironclad beetle all in one evening. I'm like, that's it. I'm not going to move out to this desert. Who said it was a good idea? But it was fine. I haven't seen them since, knock on wood. Not since we've gotten... The only thing I've seen around here are freaking ants now. But also I heard in the desert that termites are just they live here, naturally. So it's not uncommon to have termites in your house, which is not good. And luckily I haven't seen anything, but yeah, that's that. We have ticks. Just the usual stuff. Nothing too crazy. Aside from dangerous from scorpions and rattlesnakes, but they say now it's getting warmer and the snakes like to come out, and so we have to be mindful when you open your door to kind of step out, listen, and look, just for sounds, just for the snakes. So, but I know we can call the fire department if we have them. They'll come and remove them from us. But they did tell me one time when they came and got that baby sidewinder, that the area that we had recently moved into was before they built the subdivision. that it ended up being the place where they dump all the snakes. So I was like, oh, great, we moved into snake territory. But anywho, I haven't seen them, thankfully. So they say as like development continues and pushes, they tend to like go further out in the desert. But yeah, so we'll be good. Anyways, thank you for joining me while I do this quick, it was supposed to be quick body sculpting session on myself. This is my first time going live on YouTube, so I appreciate you being here with me, watching all the way from New Zealand, and whoever else is watching. And thank you for asking questions, and you made my experience enjoyable because I like to interact, and it's easier to like follow this thread than the ones that I get on other apps. So yeah, fit check. My outfit. This is my outfit. I'm going to church later, so I'll probably cover up, but it's kind of like a, what is this? Like a onesie, because it's built in, but that's all it is. And it's one color. Well, it's not one color, it's white with a tan. I like tan, so, yeah. Anywho, I'll probably go to the gym later, so my fit is going to change to gym attire. And I hope I'm feeling okay for that. So I have to work tomorrow because Sundays are my Mondays. So I'm trying to like rest and reset and relax. I have laundry to do and meal prepping. I already have that done. Oh crap, I really do need to do that. Okay, anyways. Thank you. And I'm going to try to go live more often. It just depends on my schedule. But I will talk more about like body sculpting, the machines that I use, and try to do different body parts. I actually might have people featured, like me doing the treatments on them, if they're available for me to do that. So yeah. Thank you. Goodbye.